In the car world, some names are just legendary. They represent a bold experiment, a little glimpse of the future. The Audi A2 is definitely one of those legends, a car that was an absolute engineering masterpiece, but also kind of a commercial mystery. Well, after 2 decades, that name is officially back and is being reborn for the electric age.
All right, so here's what we're going to cover in this explainer. First, we're going to take a look back at its iconic predecessor. Then, we'll get into the official announcement, break down the design and the tech, and finally, really dig into why this car is so incredibly important for Audi's future.
Okay, so to really get why this new A2 e-tron is such a huge deal, we have to rewind the clock. This new car is quite literally standing on the shoulders of a giant, the original Audi A2.
And listen, I am not exaggerating when I say this car was basically a vision of the future that landed in the wrong decade. It was built between 1999 and 2005, and it was packed with innovations that, honestly, the rest of the industry has only just started catching up to. It was just so far ahead of its time.
I mean, just look at how wild this thing was. It had an all-aluminum frame. That was supercar tech back then, all to make it incredibly light. And that quirky, kind of blob-like shape, that wasn't just for looks. It was an obsession with aerodynamics, which also happened to create a shockingly roomy interior. And the result of all that, the diesel version was the world's first 3-liter car, getting fuel economy that's still impressive today. And get this, it was so futuristic that Audi literally sealed the hood. Owners just got a little service flap for oil and washer fluid. That's it.
Okay, fast forward to today. After years of rumors, years of speculation, it's official. Audi is bringing the A2 back. The legend is finally returning.
And this isn't just about nostalgia, not at all. A quote from Audi's CEO, Gernot Dahlner, tells you everything you need to know about the mission here. He said they're making the entry into the electric Audi world easier and more relevant than ever. So this is a very strategic move to create a super efficient, compact EV that actually makes sense for modern city life.
What's really interesting is that this isn't even their first swing at this. Way back in 2011, Audi showed off an electric A2 concept that looked absolutely incredible, but they ended up canceling it. It was just too expensive to build at the time. Well, now, over a decade later, it looks like the technology and the timing are finally right. So yeah, mark your calendars. The official premiere is set for fall 2026, and we should see these cars hitting dealerships in spring 2027.
All right, so what's this modern tribute actually going to look like? Well, it's pretty clear Audi's looking straight to the past to define its future, connecting this new design directly to its groundbreaking ancestor.
And here it is. This is it. This official design sketch is the only thing Audi has shown us so far. It's just a silhouette, but man, it speaks volumes. You can instantly see the ghost of the original A2 in that profile, a shape that's all about function and efficiency.
I mean, the connection is just undeniable, right? The new car keeps that really distinctive, upright, one-box shape. Why? Well, it's the best way to get the most interior space out of a small footprint. And notice the super short overhangs. That's a classic EV trick to maximize cabin room that, hey, the original A2 was already doing. And that steeply sloped roofline? That is pure aerodynamic efficiency, a direct echo of its ancestor. Okay, so the design is one thing, but what's under the skin? Let's talk about the technology that's actually going to power this new compact EV. Now, while Audi's keeping the official specs locked down, industry reports are painting a pretty clear picture.
So yeah, the big question is, what kind of tech is it going to use? Well, the answer seems to lie within the massive electric toolkit of its parent company, the Volkswagen Group.
The consensus among all the experts is that it'll be built on what's called the MEB Plus platform. Really, the easiest way to think about this is as the next-generation version of the tech you find in cars like the VW ID.3. It's basically an upgrade focused on 3 key things: better efficiency, much faster charging, and a smoother driving experience.
Okay, so pulling together reports from all across the industry, here's what the spec sheet could look like. Now, let's be super clear here. This is all speculation. Audi has not confirmed this. But if these numbers are even close to right, it suggests a really flexible lineup. You could have a practical rear-wheel drive base model or a seriously high-performance all-wheel drive quattro version with up to 340 horsepower. And that potential 600-kilometer range, wow, that would make it one of the longest-range compact EVs out there, period.
But here's the really crucial part. This car is so much more than just a cool design and some promising specs. For Audi, the A2 e-tron is a massive, massive strategic play.
Its importance really boils down to three key goals. First, it lowers the price of entry. It makes owning an electric Audi a real possibility for a lot more people. Second, it plugs a huge hole in their lineup, letting them fight in the incredibly popular compact EV market. And finally, building it in Germany at their main plant, that's a powerful statement about securing local jobs and manufacturing for the electric future. And the target here is crystal clear. Audi is aiming this thing squarely at city dwellers. We're talking about people in places like Paris, Rome, or Berlin who need a practical, efficient car for their daily lives, but still want that premium feel. This is their answer to the booming demand for small, high-end electric cars.
And all of this brings us to one final fascinating question. The original A2 was a technical masterpiece that just failed because it was too far ahead of its time. Now it feels like the world is finally ready for its ideas. So can this new A2 e-tron finally deliver on the incredible promise its ancestor made nearly a quarter century ago? Thanks so much for joining us for this explainer.